What's up, everyone? Today, taking a different approach, wanted to approach something from Dave Castro's latest week in review that, quite frankly, was inaccurate and inaccurate enough that made me want to clarify some comments here in a video today. So we got our first 2 men and 2 women who have qualified for the CrossFit Games out of the Mayhem Classic. So I chose to watch the week in review just to get a sense of what Castro was going to say. And so I got this clip here. It's about 30 seconds. If you watched it, jump ahead. But really just kind of to shape what I want to highlight today.
Those 30 men and 30 women who go, they will be the best 30 men and 30 women. And it'll probably be the deepest and most well-rounded field we've had maybe ever at the CrossFit Games. And I say that because in all years past, there's been a regionality aspect of spots, meaning so we give some spots to certain areas around the world, which is a good thing, but it's just a different way that we're doing it now.
So Dave Castro states there's no regional specifics to who makes it to the CrossFit Games this year. That's cool, except there is. They may not have been put in place by the CrossFit Games, but they still exist. So looking at the in-person qualifying events and how they have qualified their athletes, wanted to read section 3.01 from the CrossFit Games rulebook, which just really highlights this criteria in more detail. Section 3.01, CrossFit Games qualifying event. An additional option for individual men and women to qualify for the CrossFit Games will be through a select number of partnered CrossFit Games qualifying events. Qualifying events are responsible to program and administer their own competitions. These competitions may invite athletes and include qualifying rounds or other criteria at their discretion. So, CrossFit has handed off who qualifies to the CrossFit Games and in-person events to these partner organizations. And that's cool. That's what they've done. When we looked at these partnered events, there are 3 different categories of how athletes have qualified or attended these events. So by itself, you have the Mayhem Classic. It was invite only. So they did take a global collection of athletes and pretty much the best in the world. So they're probably going to have the strongest field at the CrossFit Games, and who made it there definitely deserves to make it to the CrossFit Games itself. So Mayhem Classic, they're in a bucket all on their own. Next up, you have a group of events that are open to anybody worldwide. There was a qualifier. Some of them had special invites, but really, if you followed their qualifying process and wanted to go and made it above the cut line, you are more than welcome regardless of where you live. So that includes Torian Pro, the Far East Throwdown, Wadland Fest, NorCal Classic, and the French Throwdown. They did have special invites, but anybody was welcome regardless of where they lived as long as you qualified through their qualifying procedure. Then, on the other hand, there are events that do have regional restrictions in place. So Copa Sur is specific to South American athletes. The Renegade Games, it's specific to athletes who reside in Africa or the UAE. This includes citizens as well as expats who are on location. Then you got the Syndicate Crown, North America East, and the Fittest Experience Invitational, which is North America West. So we have 4 different qualifying events that do have region-specific criteria in place. The Syndicate Crown and Fittest Experience both have 2 qualifying spots for men and women, as does Copa Sur, and then Renegade Games, they have a single spot. So out of the 18 spots that are available or up for grabs out of the in-person qualifying events, 7 of those spots are going to be based off of region specifics. Now, looking at that, you might not think that the North America East and North America West split is that big of a deal. Realistically, it's not. But when we do look at it from the last few years where they have awarded spots based off of strength of the fields, North America West has been awarded fewer seats on both the men's and women's side in comparison to North America East and Europe. So out of the bigger groups, North America West has been proportionally less successful in the CrossFit Open. So looking at a big picture, are there region-specific criteria to get to the CrossFit Games? Yes. Were they established by CrossFit itself? No. But they still do exist. These region-specific items do exist, and they will impact the depth of field at the CrossFit Games. So to Castro's point that this will be the deepest field ever, it won't be because, they do have these region specifics there. The deepest was probably 2020 when it was top 20 from the Open and the top 10 from the sanctional winners. But again, region-specific elements do exist and will be a part of who qualifies for the 2025 CrossFit Games. With that, if you don't follow us on Instagram, do link below. And if you don't want to miss a thing, make sure you sign up for the newsletter as well in the link below just to stay up to the latest from Franlong. With that, take care. Have a great day.